Hello and welcome to the first episode of a show called ForestCard, Urban Exploration. My name's your host, and today we'll be exploring something pretty crazy, urbanly. If you look behind me, there's a sign that says, "Warning, structure is not designed for public access. Proceed at your own risk." And that's because all around Michigan, the area that we're in right now, or on the lakefront, is riddled with these little outposts and things of various natures. We've got lighthouses, we've got piers of sorts, and we have today's urban exploration, a large series of rocks that leads out to a little concrete thing and little solar panels. I don't know what it's called, but maybe if I figure it out, I'll include it in like a voiceover or something. I don't know. This is the first video. We gotta figure out the style of this channel. So without further ado, let's get exploring this thing that is not designed at all for public access. That's okay. We'll probably be fine. It's not like I, have to dedicate one of my arms to a camera or anything. It's fine. It'll sort itself out. So, some things to avoid so far when traversing terrain like this. There's some pretty sharp grass here. There's a little bit of poison ivy. There's people's kids over there that I don't want to get in the frame too much because that's weird. And I'm a grown man traversing public access spaces. Another really important thing, don't fall in the water. That'll definitely be one of the primary objectives as we traverse this terrain and we do some urban exploration. I mean, this is, I guess on the looser end of that definition, but you got to start somewhere, right? And, there's no better way to test a format than to go to the beautiful Michigan beaches with it. And you also may notice this incredibly wide angle lens. That's so I can get cool GoPro-like shots without a GoPro, I guess. I don't know. It was the only thing I was comfortable spending money on for this series, so we'll see what happens. This is a pipeline, which I believe, and I could be wrong about this, so I might, figure it out later and change what I think. But I believe it is used to dredge the lake. Now, as we begin to take our first steps into this adventure, and I have properly focused the camera so that it should be like, a couple, 3 feet away or something like that, it's important to note, I do not recommend that other people do this. It's incredibly dangerous, and I have actually been out here once or twice to kind of traverse this terrain before. Never mind, it was 5 or 6 years ago. It's fine. Don't worry about it. The important thing is, I do it so you don't have to. There's stuff that looks to be poison ivy, and we're just going to ignore that for right now and do some cool parkour jumps and hope that we don't fall and, what's the word I'm looking for? Drown in the ocean. It's a lake, but it's okay. It's fine. Nothing to worry about. The important thing here is exploration. Number one safety priority is to make sure you're exploring while being safe. And boy, just look at that view. Now that has a pipeline running through it. Now, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that this kind of pipeline is used to dredge the lake. I can't be 100% certain, so again, I could be wrong there, but we'll figure it out as we go, huh? One of the few climbing rules that I know is that you're supposed to always try and maintain at least 3 points of contact. Now, is that always viable? I can't say it is, but also, hey, look at down there. Interesting thing to note, there's teeming life all over this thing. It's a little overexposed on the sides here, but I'm trying to show off this middle part where we've got lots of water flowing in, lots of seaweed and stuff like that, lots of plastic, lots of great stuff, so that you guys can see all that fresh aquatic life. Now, nearby, you might be noticing as well that there is seemingly an outlook very similar to this, and I'll do my best to get some shots of it. It's a pretty similar outpost, though what lies on the end of this one is slightly different than what lies on the end of that one, so we'll be able to get a better look at that once we get over there. Whew. All right, that's again another reason, another reminder why you should not be doing this, because me doing it, it's already pretty dangerous. I'm not very qualified, and if I'm not qualified and drop my camera in the water, or worse yet, fall in myself, or worse yet, hurt myself and cut open my ligaments, then Well, who's to say that you would fare any better, unless you're safer than I am and, oh, I don't know, wear shoes or something. Actually, that's one thing that if you are going to do something like this, which again, I do not recommend at all because it's not safe, would be to not wear shoes if you can help it, because most of them are going to give you less traction than your actual feet. You can see here I'm actually taking a little bit of safety into account and not just speed run parkour mirror's edge jumping across all of these rocks, because that's a little silly. And you know, I'm holding camera equipment and stuff like that, but I can't recommend holding camera equipment as well as I can't recommend wearing shoes, because it really, they don't provide enough traction ever, and at the same time it's always nice to get some more calluses on your feet, and at the same time it's you really need to be able to feel the actual rocks under. So unless you have something like those toe shoes, which really no one should own, you're gonna have a much worse time trying to traverse stuff like this with shoes on. And that's just my personal experience, but you know, it's one of those things where I've been on these rocks a few times, not a professional, I'm just some guy with a camera, so maybe don't listen to me, but you know, maybe also give me a, you know, listen to me a little bit, because I've done a few times, I haven't died yet, therefore, you know, survivorship bias, it's great. But no, really, shoes to me on stuff like this just make it much harder to traverse, especially because, you know, as someone who is an amateur, I don't have climbing shoes, and I don't have those footy shoes because they look terrible and are dumb. I just have like sandals and flip-flops, and that's what I was wearing today. They're back at the beach right now. Those flip-flops are all the way down there, and they're really not good, especially, you know, open-toed shoes that are loose like that. Like flip-flops are just awful for this kind of thing. Another thing to note, you might be able to see a lot of these rocks, they change throughout here. I'm not sure the exact reasoning behind it. I'd love to be able to get some more information for you guys, and perhaps if I do some sort of voiceover, you know, when this is all edited, I'll be able to figure that out. But as of right now, I don't know why they go with the rocks that they do. You can see they vary in shape and size all over the place, but you know, sometimes you'll get these giant white monolith rocks, and then other times oh, what's that? Okay, I'm gonna check that out, because my ADD just kicked in and I got distracted, and so that is now more important. Okay, let's see what we got. All right, here's how we're gonna do this. So we're gonna traverse there, and then I'm gonna try and go down and find that thing. And I'm not really sure what that is, but we'll do our best to see what we got. Okay, all right, so it's some kind of wooden structure here. I'm not sure how well that's showing up, but there we go. So we've got this kind of wooden structure here. It could be some kind of shipping crate, although I'm sure they kind of stopped using those kind of shipping crates like 70, 80 years ago, and when they switched to the metal ones. It looks like some sort of pallet, but you know, we don't know for sure. And I'm gonna check it out a little bit, see if we can. Oh yeah, that's firmly lodged in there underneath this rock. So I'm not really sure how something like this got here. It's pretty waterlogged, but it's relatively recent, because I've been out here, you know, not this year, but it's at least within the past couple of years that this has gotten out here. So within a year or so. All right, let's get back on track. Hopefully I won't drop my camera in the water, because this is not waterproof. I should try and find my parents' old waterproof camera, but this one surely is not that. And it would immediately get drowned if I dropped it. See down here, we can actually see another piece of wood, another piece of driftwood, which would be a great way of making a, you know, trinket or something like that. But it's actually, it looks like treated wood, which is interesting. It looks like it may have come off of that thing that we found earlier, that little crate or pallet or what have you. Now that looks like it's off of something entirely different and has no correlation with the one we saw earlier. That one over there kind of looks like it has a correlation to it. Again, just guessing, because I'm just a dude. I have no actual credibility here, but you know, it's good stuff. So I gotta show it to you guys. Over there, there's a family staring at me blankly and looking at me like a weirdo. And over there, there's another family staring at me blankly, looking like a weirdo. I don't think you can see it though. This lens is pretty wide. I wonder if it's because I'm, you know, doing something super reckless and this isn't designed for public access. Probably. All right, let's see if I can make this jump, okay? All right, we did it. Good stuff. Great. That'll be fantastic in the final video if I manage to live the next time I make a jump like that. Okay. 3 points of contact, as I was saying earlier. Very important to do. Very important to blow up my microphone as I look at my chest, presumably. I don't know, I can't hear it as I'm doing it because we're not that professional. It's just me with a camera. You know, all right, let's see if we can make another jump here. This is a little bit safer, I think, than the last one, but hopefully it looks cool anyway. Oh, actually, I'm gonna traverse over there. So. Oh, okay. See, weirdly, this jump actually felt safer because it's going to a point that's lower as opposed to a point that's higher. And I don't know if that was information you care all that much about, but I'm gonna probably include it in the final version anyway, because I don't really know very much about any location that I'm going to right now, or the ones that I have in mind. The real thing is, you know, documentary, you know, you figure out the story as it happens. I don't know if that's a rule that people use with documentaries, but you know, that's what we're gonna do, and hopefully it works out. Hopefully you guys like it. So here we go. All right, and hopefully I'm not too self-serious like a lot of those other urban exploration kind of dudes, because it's pretty annoying when people are a little overly serious, I think, when it comes to their content sometimes, and I don't want to be that, because what's the point in watching something where no one's having any fun? And let me tell you, this right here, walking on these sharp and pointy, jagged rocks next to water that could be like, you know, 50 feet deep, and I'd drown and break all my camera equipment and stuff like that. Now that is the literal textbook definition of fun. It has, you know, if you look it up in the dictionary, you will see not my name, but you'll see just like a screen cap of me outstretching my arm like this, and it's all screwed up and looks kind of broken or something as I'm falling into the sea. Yeah, there we go. That's probably what it would look like. I do that with my hand a little bit. You know, they don't tell you when you do a YouTube channel, it actually takes a little bit of work. It's kind of a workout here. All right. Okay, I'm gonna take this one a little slowly because these rocks are very jagged and do not look like they would feel very good on my feet. That's the only real downside to being barefoot, is you are in pain walking back and in pain walking to and fro. You're in a lot of pain because these rocks are not like really, again, it's not designed for public access, so they don't really feel that great on your feetsies when you're jumping across them. I can't believe I just said feetsies. But we are closing in. We are very close. There's a lot of seagulls over there. Hopefully I scare them away by bounding the way that I do. But oh my God, that actually worked. I cannot believe that they actually got spooked by that. That is hilarious. Okay. Onward and yupward. Okay. All right, so this is about the highest point of the whole thing. You can get a nice vantage point of what it looks like all the way down there. Maybe I'll get I don't know if I'm in focus at all, but hopefully. All right, so that's what it looks like down there. And then as we turn this way, looks a little, you know, looks pretty nice up here too. Pretty great stuff. The sun is setting, we're looking great. And we're on our way, friends. We are on our way. And hopefully we are marginally back in focus. I don't know how this lens works at this point, but I'm trying to figure it out. And I read a lot of Amazon reviews, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. And I guess I needed a wide angle lens, and it seemed like it was cheaper than buying a GoPro, so I borrowed my parents' DSLR and started using that. Owie. As you can see, these rocks are getting pretty spread out here, pretty big. about the biggest, widest rocks with the largest margin of error that we've had so far. So I'm gonna make sure I tread lightly as we're closing in, but because that is much closer than it appears. This lens really seems to distort distance. It's really only about 15 or 20 feet away from me right now, but we'll see. Okay, let's take this carefully. All right, good stuff, good stuff. Okay, surviving is good. All right, so we got some flat ones here. We can kind of close in, and here we go. And we have made it, and it is covered in bird shit. Oh my God, all right. Whew. Boy, kind of wish I brought my flip-flops now, because my God, that is a lot of guano. Jeez, all right. I guess let's cut to some close-ups of that while I figure out what to talk about now that we're here. So, we made it. Now, what is this place exactly? I would not be able to tell you for sure. One thing I am sure of, though, is that it is covered in bird poop, and it normally isn't, and that makes me a little sad, so I'm gonna try and, you know, walk around the excrement the best I can, barefoot, while talking to you guys about this. What we do know is that this is a large concrete block, or rather 3 blocks, that have iron or steel kind of girders around them, and they have access to the lake. And up here we've got access to a large metal pole, and on that metal pole we have a couple of things. One, a lot of spider webs that I'm currently catching my body on. 2, there's a rope around back. If we're looking around, it looks like we've got a little label here that's been completely worn off, so it doesn't actually tell us what this thing is, but it looks to be some kind of outpost or lookout of some kind. And if you were to go up there, it would be a large metal lookout with a 1 on it, which is pretty cool, large 1 on it, and a solar panel as well, which is pretty nice. So it could be in some way related to the outpost over there, which has a 2 on it, which I'm just now noticing. Pretty cool stuff. Now, it could be completely related to it. It could have absolutely no relation to the outpost over there, but we'll try and get some shots and see if anyone can kind of correlate the two in some way, or tell me in the comments what it is. It would be really helpful. But if we don't know, we don't know. And all we've got is this large outpost to tell us what is going on as the sunset sets in beautifully. To be completely honest about it, my favorite part about all this stuff, these things, like I don't know what this exactly is, but my favorite part about it is the fact that it isn't meant to be a public access, but you are totally free to go on it. If you live in the US and if you live in Michigan, you're allowed to go on these. They're not designed for public access, but I like to think of it as kind of Michigan's secret public access. You can get stuff like these beautiful views of the sunset that I have. No one else is getting that right now. If you look out here, you see no one is on the edge of that one. No one is really even on any of these rocks or anything. No one's on these rocks at all. All these people are just stuck back at the beach, which is at least 300 feet away. The only people getting a vantage point near this, or maybe even a little bit better, are people on boats like over there, which is, you know, you gotta buy or rent a boat or have a friend that has one. So if you don't have any of that stuff, this is perfect. It's great. You get these fantastic views of the sunset that really no one else can achieve. I mean, it's great stuff. Now, before I start poetically waxing a little bit too much about how I like certain sunset spots, I just want to say thank you so much for watching our first video on ForestCard. It means the world that you would make it this far in this video from a YouTuber that has no videos up yet, but hopefully you guys liked it, and next time we'll be exploring something a little bit more crazy, and that's about all we have. So, again, another special thank you to Mother Nature for providing us with such a fantastic sunset today. And thank you to humans for building these outposts so that people like me can view the actual sunset. Oh, hey, some people.